what we have going on with the Miami Dolphins bullying situation is similar to what was happening back in the day with rap music. As it relates to the Miami Dolphins, we're talking about two teammates, Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin, both offensive linemen. Incognito is white, Martin is black. And Incognito, and apparently some other black Miami Dolphins, did not believe Martin was tough enough with his Stanford-educated self, trying to play in the trenches with those hogs in the National Football League. So the word is, a decision was made to toughen up Martin through name-calling and myriad forms of bullying, which has resulted in Incognito's suspension from the team while everything gets investigated. The crux of the matter is the perceived need to turn Martin into a so-called man. And we have to talk in terms of so-called man, because it's not enough for Martin to be 6'5" and 312 pounds with facial hair. Nah, he's got to be a so-called man, not a man's man, but a so-called man, or a macho man who must have a man cave at home and drive a very manly vehicle and eat red meat all day, every day. My little Honda Civic and preference for tofu would disqualify me, but you get the idea, right? Well, we saw a similar thing happening back in the day with rap music, because as good as the Fresh Prince was, he never got his props because he was not hard enough. You remember the Fresh Prince, right? Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince? Yeah, the Fresh Prince was Will Smith before Will Smith became a big-time Hollywood actor. But Will Smith was a terrific rapper too. It's just that he didn't do all of that cussing and didn't talk about how many jokers he shot and all that. And because of that, he was not considered as good as, say, well, I don't want to call any names, but filling in the blank with any old gangster rapper will do, because gangster rappers were hard, and they talked about hard stuff, and they talked about the streets. They kept it grimy, you know what I'm saying? And so many consumers of rap music bought into that. Never mind that most of those consumers, if they kept it real, if they kept it 100, most of them would have to admit that their existence was more like that of Will Smith. Now, I'm thinking about cats that I grew up with. Our main concern was trying to hug up on some girl or sneak a feel, if you know what I mean. Because for many of us, back then in middle school, it wasn't necessarily about going all the way with the girl, but just sneaking a hand touch of her hind parts will put you in a desirable status. The fellas will be like, "Oh, John, man, you got that feel, man." But then the girl would tell the teacher, and she'd tell your parents, and then your mom and daddy would feel your butt. Feel it with a belt. And Will Smith, the Fresh Prince, had a song for that. Girls of the world ain't nothing but trouble. And see, back in the day, it was about going to the dance, even if you couldn't dance. And a song like Bust a Move comes to mind. But Young MC, the rapper behind that song, was considered corny because he was not hard enough. Never mind his talent to put a few words together. Well, now that I think about it, Young MC was kind of corny, but no more corny than the consumers of rap and even wannabe rappers who were trying to identify with West Coast rappers, trying to be all thugged out. Yet they didn't know anything about the streets, but there was an image to uphold. And that's the Miami Dolphins situation. That's the problem permeating sports. The perceived need to carry on a certain tradition of machismo just because no one exactly knows why. I mean, guys just figure they need to do it. And the result is babies born out of wedlock and the alphabet soup of AIDS and HIV lurking in underwear and emotional distress and depression that may be doing as much damage with respect to head injuries as concussions.